about making room, guys. If you're holding on to the past so hard that the reasons why you can't move forward is because of your past, then you're holding on to change. There's no room for anything else to come. There's no room for anything else to be. So you have to let go so that that can move itself out and then allow it space for the new to come in. And I know it is not effing easy. It is a practice, okay? But when you surrender and you let go and you place the bets on yourself and you say, I know because of this scenario in my life and this scenario in my life that I can overcome any challenge that comes my way. I can always find my way out of a sticky situation, and you lead with that story, you are guaranteed for success on the other side. Hello, light beings. Today, we're going to talk about staying the course of spiritual upliftment. And this is important because the spiritual journey is a marathon. It's not a sprint. When you spiritually awaken, that's just the beginning. And I know that in running a marathon, sometimes when you don't see the finish line, things can be discouraging. When you don't see the finish line or you don't even see the next mile marker, right? You can be wondering what you're doing and feeling like you're not gaining traction or seeing any clear direction, but all you can do is move forward. And so today I have seven ways to stay the course of spiritual upliftment. And so we're just going to dive right in. So, number 1, you must have clear goals and targets. The reason why this is so important is because if you have nothing to work towards, I mean, you guys, then you feel like you have nothing to live for. And you must work towards something that is greater than getting out of your personal hell. There's got to be this reason to get up in the morning other than just paying bills, other than just getting through the day. The reason why you feel like you're just getting through the day is because there's nothing greater that you're working towards. The reason why you may be depressed or anxious or numb or on autopilot is because you're just doing enough to get by. There's nothing that sparks a fire or a light within you. When you have nothing to work towards, that is when you feel empty. We are meant to be continuously expanding. And if we don't have a goal that we're working towards, if we don't have our eye on a target, then we're wandering aimlessly. We really are. And in that wandering aimlessly is when we can get caught up in sticky stuff, like negative thinking, like being distracted, like turning to the news, right? Like eating unhealthily, like falling into gossip. Okay? You have to, in order for there to be upliftment and consistency in your life, you must have a goal that you are working towards. Okay? It is so important, okay? Set clear goals and targets, because if you don't have anything that you're working towards, you're wandering aimlessly, and then you can easily get distracted and discouraged, okay? Number 2, always set yourself up to get better and be better. You should always be in a space of optimizing. This really goes hand in hand with the first one, but it is separate, because as you up level in a way of hitting a goal, right, that challenges you, and so automatically you get better, right? And guys, this could be with multiple things. So it could be better if we're talking about spirituality. It could be better with honing your intuitive abilities, honing in on being a divine channel and a psychic medium, honing in on being a better energy healer, honing in on being an intelligent, strong, empowering empath. you always want to get better and be better, because when you're better within, this whole world gets better. Okay? Your internal world is a mirror of your external world. And I know that's not necessarily good to hear sometimes, because you could be like, why on earth would I create this kind of life for myself? But the distinction I want you to see here is that you, up until this moment, have been manifesting and creating from an unconscious level, meaning that you have been letting fear, doubt, anxiousness, even that inner critic be the vehicle that creates your future. But when you start living, when you spiritually awaken, and then you're ready to take that next step and not just be awakened spiritually, but live awakened spiritually, that's when you really start to become the true creator of your reality. You live intentfully and consciously, and it's like this natural desire to up level. It's just this natural desire to think, feel, and be better. So if you want spiritual upliftment, you must also have the skill to up level and uplift yourself. Okay, and if you struggle with that, I can help you. So the third strategy, the third thing is that you want to find your passion. This is, guys, having a goal and having a target gives you a reason to live, right? Beyond paying your bills, right? But also, passion gives you fuel to continue. They go hand in hand. When you're passionate about something, I mean, think about it, whether it can be perceived as positive or negative. When you find that thing that you're passionate about, doesn't it light you up? Like, aren't you ready to just go and talk about it and receive information about it and informationally harvest information? I know that's not a phrase. I make my own English. But you guys get what I'm saying? When was the last time that you were passionate about something? Like, where it was the thing that was in your head when you woke up in the morning and when you fell asleep. Maybe it was getting your children into that extracurricular activity. Maybe it was when you were losing weight. Maybe it was when you were doing a good meditation practice. What was that last thing that you did that sparked passion in you? Passion is fuel, okay? I understand that this is two separate categories, right? Being able to understand what your passion is level one, but then pursuing your passion is level two. And the reason why pursuing your passion is level two is because when you decide to pursue your passion, all of your limitations come to the surface. Your logical mind will step in and be like, you can't do this. Are you knuckin' futs? You can't do this. Who are you kidding? And actually, that's just your subconscious mind, right? Goes back to what I said with number two. Always get and be better, okay? So your passion, whatever it is, and some of you already know it, right? Your passion should be your unconscious obsession. It should be your unconscious obsession. If you look at hyper successful people, even when they got knocked down, they still got up. Even when they were having the hardest years of their life, they still pursued. People called them crazy, right? If average people are calling you crazy, you're fucking winning, okay? And you're doing an amazing, amazing job. So keep going, okay? But you have to find your passion, because passion is fuel. Having a goal and a target gives you a reason to live, right? And then that passion is the fuel that allows you to continue the marathon. So when you don't see the mile marker, when you don't see the finish line, that passion drives you and carries you throughout the entire process. So, and if you guys know, if you're not living with something passionate on your heart, you feel like what's the point? Like you already know this. Number 4, and guys, this is a really big one. This is a really, really big one. So accept challenges. Okay, I don't know if you remember the Breaking Bad Habits, training that I did, video that I did, but challenges honestly are inevitable. They're inevitable. You're being challenged even when you're not working towards something. You're being challenged mentally at work. You're being challenged physically with exhaustion and fatigue. You're being challenged with grief over not being able to pay your bills or whatever it is that you find challenges in your life. No matter what, there are challenges, okay? You must accept that they're there. Something that I like to live by is that if you do not challenge yourself, then life will challenge you. And the reason why that statement is important is because if you're not challenging yourself in a way where you are up leveling, optimizing, growing, expanding, getting deeper with yourself and your relationship with yourself, creating these dreams and these goals, right? If you're not challenging yourself in those ways, then life is going to throw challenges at you. And this is going to be the challenge of work. This is going to be the challenge of feeling stagnant. This is going to be the challenge of sometimes finding a desire to live. So you must find and that place within yourself where you accept that challenges are just going to happen, and that's okay. But what challenges are you going to put yourself through? Are you going to put yourself through challenges that were self-imposed, that were actually meant for meaning and purpose, and it's a challenge where there's a reward on the other side? Or are you going to put yourself through the challenges of stagnation, feeling blocked, having a lack of direction, feeling like you're stuck in your job, the stagnation or the challenges of not feeling whole and happy? There's a challenge in not feeling happy. And it takes a serious emotional toll on you. And not only that, but it takes a real physical toll on you as well. That's when you find that you're in disease and creating illness, right? I also wrote down here, you must develop a skill in overcoming pain and solving problems. Okay, successful people, I don't care how much money you make. Okay, successful people, it's not that they don't have problems. They do still have problems. Okay, if you have this illusion that money brings happiness, then you're fooling yourself. Okay, but a successful and a wealthy person is still presented with challenges, but the thing is that they have a skill in solving problems, right? So when you accept, because acceptance is the foundation to all healing. So when you accept that challenges are inevitable and that there are 2 types of challenges, the ones that are with purpose because you're working towards something, or ones that come from not from stagnation and being blocked, and you choose the one, well, either or, honestly, you must develop a skill in overcoming that pain and being able to solve problems. Again, that is something I have mastered, something I teach in my Navigating Your Spiritual Journey program. Okay, so if you want help with that too, developing that skill set, DM me. Okay, now in pain, okay, growth can happen when the pain is leveraged accordingly, because most people, 99% of people, will look at challenge and look at it as resistance and say, this is just not meant for me. This is the universe telling me that I'm not meant to have this thing. That's not true. And most people give up because they would rather be able to work their 9 to 5, make enough to get by. Maybe you have a little more than that. Maybe you have enough to go on vacation a few times a year and you live from vacation to vacation, or you live for your glass of wine at the end of the night. You live for the weekend, right? But respectfully, is that living? And if you are uncomfortable by that question, then you know in your heart that you're desiring more. You're desiring more than a mundane life. Okay? And you're not average. Okay? So you must develop a skill in overcoming and being able to solve problems. It is a tool that will save you a lot of pain, a lot of unnecessary heartache. It'll save you negative thinking. It will save you unnecessary shaming. It will save you time. It will save you time. Okay? So the fifth thing, staying the course in spiritual upliftment. The fifth thing is community. And this is why I do weekly lives every Friday, because I know that the spiritual path can be a lonely one. The reason why a community is so important is because when you are in a group of people who speak the same language as you, have the same goals as you have, and are working towards them, automatically you lift up. I mean, guys, walking the path alone, it makes it, you have to be shown what's possible, because if you don't know what's possible, then you'll never think of anything beyond your current environment. Being a part of a community and people who genuinely care about you and are rooting for your success because they're rooting for their own and they want you to succeed, that's how you really create traction. Not only is there accountability, but which is really important, because a lot of the reason why people don't move forward is because there's a lack of accountability. But in this community, you're in a container where you can be held and nurtured and supported, and you find your tribe. And isn't that what you really want? You don't want to feel like you're doing this spiritual journey alone, right? You want to feel and talk with like-minded people and have those deep conversations about the multidimensional world and manifesting and creating and up-leveling and all of those things, right? You always want to surround yourself with people who are doing better than you, right? That's like that saying that if you're in a room with 5 alcoholics, you're going to wind up being the 6th one. Now, there is a part of that where it's like, if it's not already within you, right? When you squeeze the orange, all that comes out is the juice. Like when you're under pressure, what comes out is who you really are. So if it's not already within you to be successful, if it's not already within you to be able to take on challenges and up level and grow and optimize, then when you get squeezed, you're going to wilt. But if that is something within you, right, then when you get squeezed under pressure, you become this new version of yourself, and you become smarter, and you become more confident, and you become more skilled, you become more captivating. People look to you for advice. People look to you for clarity, right? And so you always want to surround yourself with people who are doing better than you. You really don't want to be a big fish in a small pond, right? Yeah, maybe it makes you feel significant, maybe it makes you feel good, but you're not growing, and that's why you have this little nagging in the back of your head, like, what's missing? Like, yeah, maybe it's cool to be recognized, but you want to surround yourself with people who are doing better than you, so not only are you challenged to do better, but also so that you can break through any limitations and see what's possible. So 6th reason, and just to let you know, navigating your spiritual journey has a community. So number 6, celebrate the small wins. This is, guys, this is so important. Most of you are only going for the big wins, right? Like the home runs, so to say. You only count the home runs. You only count when you dropped that 5 pounds. You only count when you got that pay raise. Celebrating the small wins looks like celebrating that, especially in a diet and trying to lose whatever X amount of weight. Celebrating the small wins looks like you overcame your craving for ice cream, right? Celebrating the small wins is like going to bed at the end of the night and saying, I didn't want to exercise today, but I did it. And I'm proud of myself for that. Celebrating the small wins. What was the other one that I used? Getting a pay raise for a job, right? Celebrating the small wins is is being able to honor and recognize that you didn't want to go into work that day, but you did anyway and you gave it your best. Celebrating those small wins looks like you provided value to the company or business that you're working for, and that is worth celebrating. That's why you got that raise. You have to celebrate the small wins because otherwise you're going to run out of fuel. If you don't celebrate and anchor in those small wins, you will never feel like you're making progress. And if you never feel like you're making progress, you'll never want to progress. Right? Because it's like, what am I doing? You guys are only celebrating when you have this huge, big result. The result is great. The outcome is great. Okay? But anybody can get a result. Anybody can get an outcome, right? Given they have the determination and, perseverance to freaking get it. But it's not about the results. It's about the journey. It's about the person that you become with self-discipline. It's about the person that you become when growing your business. It is about the person that you become while you're bringing value to the company that you're working for. It's not about the outcome or the results. Don't get me wrong, we want those and we want to strive towards those. But it's about the person that you become whilst in the journey. Okay? You become stronger, smarter, more confident, alluring, right? So, and then the second thing to that is, how are you measuring your success? If you're only measuring your success by the amount of weight you lost, or you're only measuring your success around the amount of dollars that you have, then you're not going to find happiness. You're not going to feel successful. You have to, again, celebrate those mental and emotional milestones, those times where you exercised a will greater than your comfort zone, greater than your, unconscious or subconscious programming. You have to celebrate when you went beyond your personal world and did something that you've never done before. You have to celebrate those things because it's actually those things that have gotten you the result that you want or are working towards. So if you want to stay the course of spiritual upliftment, you must celebrate those milestones, or what's called as invisible progress. Okay? The invisible progress is what gets you that result, that outcome. So celebrate yourself along the way. It's not easy. Okay? So the last thing, and if I could give to you anything from this conversation, it's surrender. Okay? This requires complete mastery, and there's always a new level to master it at. So the reason why surrender is so important is because when we try to control things, when we try to predict things, we are in a space of anxiousness, worry, fear, calculation, survival, okay? And in those places, you're inducing a lot of stress. And in that stress, you cannot see the bigger picture. Remember, you cannot think beyond what you feel. So, if you knew, let's say you're working towards a goal, and you knew that in 6 months you would receive it, would you really be stressing yourself out so much today? Let's say you have a big tax bill that you have to pay. If you knew that you would be able to get it handled and you would receive all of the money that you need to pay that tax bill, would you really be stressing yourself so much today? Right? And also by stressing yourself out, you're preventing yourself from manifesting what you need to manifest. You're preventing yourself from finding the tools and resources and energy even to find out the way, to find the way. Okay? Surrender allows you to be open and receptive. If you're not surrendering and you're trying to control, you're trying to force it, you're worrying about it, you're creating something that you don't want. And what if it happens? And or what if you actually get the thing that you want and you put yourself through so much unnecessary stress and pain? right? It's like the example I gave a few weeks ago. If you think about a monkey, right, and it has a jar with bananas in it, right? The monkey sticks his hand in there to grab the bananas, but when he pulls his hand, he can't get it out because the jar, the entrance for the jar is way too small for the knuckles. But then when the monkey lets go, he can take his hand out and get those bananas in a smarter way, right? Like taking it back like a drink. So you must ask yourself really empowering, smart questions, right? How can I make this work? But even smarter than that, what are all the resources that I have to make this work? What are all the ways that I know already how to make this happen? What is possible for me when I let go? How will I benefit from letting go? Because here's the thing, guys, questions open the mind. It opens the mind for creativity. And when you ask a question, your brain will always go to find the answer. That's why it's so important to ask empowering questions, because if you're like, how could this go wrong? You're going to find the answers as to why all of it's going to go wrong. Okay? And also, statements close the mind. It's assumptive, it's absolute. And so if you're saying, I will never be able to do this, well, then guess what? You're never going to be able to freaking do it. Okay, but if you ask yourself, how can I do this? How can I make this possible? How can I see a way out of this? How can I do so with the least amount of effort and the most amount of ease? Then you're gifting yourself the ability to expand, right? You're allowing yourself to let go so that you can receive. It's always about making room, guys. If you're holding on to the past so hard that the reasons why you can't move forward is because of your past, then you're holding on to change. There's no room for anything else to come. There's no room for anything else to be. So you have to let go so that that can move itself out and then allow it space for the new to come in. Okay, you gotta let go. You gotta surrender. And I know it is not effing easy. It is a practice. Okay, but when you surrender and you let go and you place the bets on yourself and you say, I know because of this scenario in my life and this scenario in my life that I can overcome any challenge that comes my way. I can always find my way out of a sticky situation, and you lead with that story, you are guaranteed for success on the other side. You are guaranteed to solve that problem. So if you want to find spiritual upliftment and stay the course, you gotta be able to surrender. Because if you're in survival with being in force and holding on, you're blocking yourself, you're keeping yourself stagnant. But when you let go, which is a very hard thing to do, it's way easier said than done. I totally fucking get that, okay? But when you let go, you make room for miracles. You make room for new. You make room and allow it to come to you. Because when you're forcing, you're not allowing. But when you surrender and you let go and you just do the next right thing ahead of you, the next right step in front of you, the next right decision in front of you, you allow all of those things to just come to you. Okay? So, quick recap. Staying the course of the spirit of spiritual upliftment. Number 1, get clear on your goals and your targets. And it needs to be something more than getting out of your personal hell. It needs to be something that sparks joy in you, that makes you happy, that gives you a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Number 2, always get and be better. It's time to optimize yourself. You are worthy of optimizing. Okay, you are worthy of success. You are worthy of happiness. Find it within you to get and be better so you can have those things. 3, find your passion. What lights you up? What fuels you to make sure that those goals and targets get hit, right? 4, accept that challenges are inevitable. When you master or create a skill set that allows you to overcome pain and solve problems, then you are really taking control of your life. Then you are really a driving force of nature, having a pull of gravity of your own towards your manifestations and happiness. Okay? Number 5, be in a community. Submerge yourself in a group of individuals who think, see, and feel the way that you do. And immerse actually. Immerse yourself in a group of people who are doing better than you because they're showing you what is possible. Number 6, you gotta celebrate the small wins. You gotta celebrate the milestones. When you overcame yourself, when you did not give in to a craving, when you chose happiness over anxiousness, you gotta cement that. You gotta celebrate that, because if you don't celebrate, you don't feel like you're making progress. And when you don't feel like you're making progress, then you don't want to progress. So you gotta celebrate the small wins. Also, how are you measuring your success? It's really, really important. And then the last one, surrender, okay? Surrender to the divine plan. Surrender to having faith in yourself. Surrender to having faith in your ability to be able to do anything that you set your mind to. Because you can. It's only your doubts and your fears that are standing in the way. It's only this unnecessary bullshit chatter in your head that is preventing you from seeing the bigger picture. Surrender. Find more peace and fluidity in your life. Guys, I know it's easier said than done, but it is possible. There's always a choice. Okay? All right, guys, I hope that you found this helpful. Again, I teach all of these things in the Navigating Your Spiritual Journey program. If you want to up level, hone your gifts of intuition and spiritual healing, energy healing, psychic mediumship, if you want to get over being blocked, if you're done being stagnant, then DM me and let's get you on a call. And on this call, we'll get clear about what is working in your self-healing practices, what's not working in your self-healing practices, and where you want to go. And if I can help you, I will show you how I will do that. But if not, I'll steer you in some other direction with free resources. So either way, you find value from this call. Okay? It's time to step up and level up. If you want to stay the course and live in the highest vibrational version of yourself, this is your sign. Okay? All right. So much love for you guys. I cannot wait to catch you next week. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. Take care. All right. Hey. Hello.